Some of these guys out here are just stupid. Today we're talking about Atlanta-based rapper Cashout. Y'all remember he had a couple hits some years back, Flood the Streets. He also had Cashout. Y'all remember that song Condor on My Wrist or whatever. After that, he kind of like fell off. We didn't hear from him again. Or he might have been like more regional, like in the South where people was listening to him. Well, this guy was just sentenced to 2 life sentences plus 75 years, right? For pimping. Right here, this guy was out there. He was pimping. These guys like, they like to brag about how they pimping on the garden tools and they doing all this stuff with girls. Well, now judges is giving you life sentences for that. You're getting life, right? So he had a bunch of women come out and testify against him. His cousin got 2 consecutive life sentences and 90 years, and his mama got 30 years because his mama was pimping with him too. Yes, pimping is pimping is pimping. Right? So now this guy's in jail. He's not that bright. But check this out, right? This is what the news is reporting.
Trial for the Atlanta-based rapper Cashout is expected to begin. His real name is John Gibson. He was indicted in 2023 on several charges, including sex trafficking and luring women into prostitution. 4 others also charged in this case. They're accused of forming Pires Music Group LLC, but then using the company to recruit and entice women to engage in commercial activity.
So they was running their operation from May 1st, 2013. It started an enterprise, right? They was hit with these charges, but then the Rico conspiracy came in. The group led by Cashout allegedly formed an enterprise to recruit women from social media, promising music opportunities but forcing them into commercial acts for profit. This is the core Rico violation under Georgia law involving all defendants like his mother, Linda Smith, Mama Cashout, cousin Tyrone Teller, Ruski, and others. They use violence, threats, and social media to maintain control, and launder money, right? So from 2013 to 2017, early operations, trafficking, rape, assault, and related crimes, right? Multiple instances of coercing women into sexual servitude, including physical and sexual violence. Specific include trafficking, sexual servitude, 8 counts total, right? 8, right? Aggravated sodomy, aggravated assault by choking or unaliving weapon, false imprisonment, possession of a firearm during felony. These acts built the enterprise power through intimidation with profits funding the group, right? So this thing gets real crazy, right? They have all kinds of serious allegations coming after them, man, and that's why the sentencing that came down was so harsh, right? It says prosecutors described a 7-year reign of terror where Gibson and his group, including his mother, Linda Smith, aka Cashout, his cousin, targeted women in distress, luring them with promises of music industry and help of financial aid. Once isolated, victims were allegedly subject to 8, aggravated sodomy, assault, and forced prostitution to generate profits to the enterprise. Y'all know I'm saying I can't say the words like that on here because I'm just stretching the words out, but y'all know what I mean, right? Evidence includes text messages from 8 cell phones showing coordination, social media posts promoting the group, and victims' testimonies about coercion via threats, firearms, and withholding food and basic needs. Specific victims' testimony. One woman testified that during a June 2025 trial that she met Gibson at a gas station on Old National Highway while going through a tough time with no place to stay. He offers to help her make money, but he took her to a house in Hattville where she couldn't leave. There he allegedly aped her and explained she had to perform actual acts from clients to keep to earn her keeping food. Man, she described being trapped and only fed if she generated income for him. Other victims, not named publicly, reported similar patterns in recruitment, isolation, sexual violence, and exploitation, tying into the Rico conspiracy. So him and his mom and his cousin was in serious trouble. They had some real hardcore, real crazy allegations, right? Man, this is crazy. This is real crazy. So you get right. Cashout ended up what's his real name? This is crazy, man. John Gibson, he ended up getting 2 life sentences plus 75 years. His cousin, Tyrone Teller, he gets 2 life sentences plus 94 years, right? Then Mom Dukes, Linda Smith, Mama Cash, she gets sentenced to 30 years in prison. So they really got hammered. Now, this is the thing. Before his sentencing, he got up there and was talking to the judge and was trying to explain his situation to the judge and saying that these women were lying. This is not what they said it was. He was saying, yeah, I was pimping, but I was dealing with grown women and they was doing this, they was choosing to do this. I didn't force anything. He got up there and said this.
Good morning today, Your Honor.
Good morning.
I want to start out by thanking you for giving us a fair trial. I want to thank the jurors for the amount of time that they put in to judge this trial. This time being on this trial, I was able to see how the jurors are put in a tough position to, sit there and judge someone's life, and, it's a hard decision, and I felt like they made the wrong judgment. I've done things in my life, I'm not perfect, but the things I've been accused of, I know that I haven't done those things. I know it's typical for a person to come up here and, show remorse to, crimes that they have done, but I can only show remorse to the people that I know that was in this trial, which is Kiara Adams, Deanna Sanders, and Jasmine Brown. Not remorse on behalf of like I did anything to them, because if you know me, and people who really know me know that I wouldn't force anybody to do anything. I met women, I dated women who were doing escort or whatever, however people want to look at it from a moral standpoint, but who was doing these things as a grown woman. I've only dealt with grown women.
You can tell this guy ain't too bright. There's a woman judge sitting up there on the bench. And he goes up there and says that he doesn't really have remorse because he doesn't really see that he did anything wrong, right? Pimping is illegal, and you can get a life sentence for pimping. Forget all the allegations that the women put against you. Pimping is illegal, and it can get you a life sentence in today's time, whether the women agree to it or not. Some things may be right, some things may be unfair, but one thing that's for a fact is if you get caught trafficking and moving women around for profit, that can get you a long sentence, especially when the Rico come in. So for him to get on the stand and talk that stupid, that lets me know that this dude wasn't that bright. But he wasn't finished. He doubled down and said this.
Nothing was forced. Nothing was coerced or anything of that nature. If you notice before this trial, no woman can say anything about me before this trial. If you notice before this indictment, no woman can say anything about me before this indictment. I get the situations that people are put in when they're faced with a certain type of crime or a certain type of time, and they're bullied into this situation to put the blame on someone, or to put the blame on Cashout, or to put the blame on someone who's at the top. That's why I didn't really fault them for their decision. I didn't fault Deanna Sanders for making her decision during a proffer. She just had a child. Mind you, she was just on video call with me while being incarcerated. I don't fault Kiara Adams for doing the things she did with her proffer, because mind you, she was facing a certain amount of time handling her probation in different cases that she's on. I don't fault people for making accusations, because I'm a man that typically let women leave on their own behalf. Never held them held them in prison or held them in slavery or said, you can't leave me, or you can't do this. Every woman you seen come on this stand showed you that they left and came back willingly on their own. What I mean by that, they left on their own and they came back willingly on their own. During this trial, I was able to see, you know, how valuable life is and how valuable the people that you hang around, or the people that you even date, or the people that you even know, how valuable it is to judge their character. Sometimes I let people stay around who I knew was going to affect a situation that I had going on. So I don't, and for the people who came to this trial that I never met a day in my life, never had any contact with them, never had a text message with them, never had an interaction with them, don't even know where most of these stories came from, it's baffling. I'm sitting here just holding my head high and just, you know, feeling that one day the truth will come out. One day the truth will come out on my situation. One day the truth will come out on this rape allegation, that these things never happened. And when you see a person get up on that stand and put their hand on the Bible and swear to tell the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth, that means you have to be perfect like you're Jesus. You have to be perfect on that stand. You can't show a flaw. And that's a tough one. It's a tough one for me because I had flaws in my life. So you have to tell the complete truth on that stand. And I got up there and see people put their hand on that Bible and not tell the complete truth. And that's baffling. But at the end of the day, I put my trust in the Most High. I put my trust in the universe to bring out the truth. To bring out the truth of these people who made these allegations.
Now, let me say something to a lot of you young guys out there. The old school way of doing things, whether good or bad, is over. We're going into a new time, a new day. There's a woman judge. There's a woman bailiff. We're going into equality for women. And women for a long time felt like they've been disrespected, marginalized, pushed to the side, abused by men. And they feel like our masculinity is toxic. So when you out there thinking that you're going to be pimping, thinking that you're going to be putting women in compromising positions, and then come in a courtroom in front of a woman with these type of charges, and you ain't going to get the hammer, you done lost your darn mind. You guys are fools. Y'all better wake up and understand the times that we in. Those days are over. And even in those days, you still shouldn't be pimping and taking advantage of women or hurting women. That doesn't give you the green light to do that. No man should be hurting a woman. Now, some women could be lying. Some of these things that he's accused of, they could darn well be lies. But at the end of the day, nobody made you pimp. And when we get to your mom failed you. She's a colossal failure as a mother. Why would she be out there pimping on women with her son? Got her son doing this. What kind of mother are you? She should have got 2 life sentences too. Right? Man, this thing is crazy. But y'all got to let me know what y'all think. Do y'all think that he's guilty of the pimping? Or do you think that some of these women might have made this stuff up? Or do you think that the sentence was too excessive? Do you think that his sentence, 2 life sentence plus 75 years, was too excessive? Because that black female judge wasn't playing. Man, she gave him as much time as she could possibly give him. Right? But let me know what you guys think, man. Subscribe to Street Media TV. Hit that like button. Leave your comments in the comment section. Remember, I love y'all. Till the next time. Peace.